guys, it's me, the Haunted Wolf 12 here, back again with another new for 2025 Halloween prop unboxing. Well, kind of new, is a remake of a classic item, but this time it's not a Home Depot item, surprisingly. This is the Halloween Costumes Tekky remake of Broken Girl. This was just a huge shock to me, and I'm super excited to be able to finally own her after all this time. But I'm also a little concerned about the quality because I've seen people already having issues with her, which is not a good sign. This literally just came out, and the mechanism and everything was supposed to be re-engineered, but unfortunately it seems the gears in the gearbox are still plastic, so there is a chance that it could still break, which is very unfortunate. But I'm hoping mine will be okay, but we're gonna find out. There's not too much to say, obviously, because the box is just blank, aside from the Tekky logo and the fun.com sticker, all that stuff. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and finally just open her up now. Also, I apologize for neighborhood dogs barking. Can't really control that. Here we have her waist frame, which looks very similar to the original because it also had this foam padding stuff, if I remember right. Of course, I forgot, there's a shit ton of twist ties, which is extremely annoying about these Tekky props, but at least the good part is it keeps all the content secure in shipping. But regardless, here's the adapter. It will be taped to the upper right corner of the box, or left, whichever way you open it, but it'll be taped to the upper corner. Here is her head and torso and arms and everything, and thankfully her head is vinyl. Tekky has had a bad habit lately of making their remake props latex, which is frankly the dumbest shit ever. I'm not gonna hold back. That is incredibly stupid, and I do not support them in doing that. That is incredibly ignorant. When their originals were literally made with vinyl, and then to go ahead and make them latex when you're upgrading the mechanics and the electronics so the faces will just rot in a decade, that's incredibly stupid. So the stuff they use latex on is an immediate no for me most of the time, unless it's a really good, but usually no. But enough of my rambling. Here is Broken Girl's face, and it is obviously 3D printed mold because the original mold was destroyed. The original was made at a separate factory, so they did have to 3D scan her head, which is a little unfortunate because it is noticeable. But besides that, it does look very similar to the original, which is good. And of course, she also has an IR sensor now, which is definitely an upgrade compared to the original light sensor and sound sensor. Here we have her feet. They are very heavy, actually. I can't tell if they're, I think they might just be a really thick blow molded plastic, but I almost thought they were vinyl at first. They have a lot of weight to them. We have the back bending mechanism, which the gearbox looks bigger in person than it did in photos, but I'm still worried about it. It should not already be having issues this soon, so it's definitely something to be careful of. But besides that, these metal support pieces on the side are definitely an upgrade compared to the original. The original used plastic hooks. Here we have her two leg poles, one with a control box, and this is undeniably the biggest upgrade to her, regardless of the gearbox or anything else, is this upgraded speaker. It has high quality audio now instead of being in a small compressed speakers. It's, from what I've heard in videos, it sounds extremely good, so that is definitely exciting. Then lastly, we have the base and the instructions down at the bottom. So now without further ado, we are going to go ahead and set her up.
Where did everybody go? They're all all gone. And you're next!
So here she is, the 2025 remake model of Broken Girl, or as they've been calling it on the Halloween Costumes website, Exorcism Emily. Now, as I was saying, I did have a few concerns about her quality, as I know at least one person's has like fully broken, which is crazy, but overall I'm really happy with how she turned out. There are some flaws, which obviously like the 3D printer lines, that is a small nitpick, but it does bother me. But not much you can do when the original mold was destroyed, I understand that, so I understand. But besides that, I am super happy that they made her face vinyl, but also her hands and her feet are also extremely thick, heavy vinyl, which surprised me, because on a lot of this newer stuff, they just use cheaper blow molded plastic, but they actually went the full mile and used vinyl for both the hands and the feet. The hands are a little bit thinner, they're more squishy, but the feet are extremely thick and heavy vinyl. I was really pleasantly surprised to see that. I'm really happy about that. Another quality issue though I ran into is her chest piece already came unglued and fell off in shipping because it's just hot glued. That's a bit cheaper than they could have stapled it to her shoulder frame. That would have been a little bit better. But besides that, I'm really happy with how she turned out so far. She is extremely loud too. In that demo, I maybe had her only at like 25% volume. She gets crazy loud, which is insane compared to the sound quality of the original. It's just really cool. Overall, I think I do recommend her if you've wanted her for a while and you were just afraid of the original Spirit version breaking. I think this is your best bet. Of course, there is the difference of the eyes lighting up red instead of white, but the original prototype in 2014 actually had red light up eyes, so it doesn't bother me that much. It looks fine either way, but yeah, overall I'm really happy with her, and I do highly recommend her actually. So thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.